All right, what's going on, guys? It's Luke here. We had two trades today. We had a short and a long after news targeting data highs. If you guys want to link to the Discord where I talk about the trades that I'm taking, pre-market analysis, and all that stuff, link will be in the pinned comment. If you guys need a discount link to sign up for Alpha Futures, link will be in the pinned comment as well. So we're going to run through this. So first trade ended up passing us an eval, and we only took a small partial on funded. I wanted to see this actually run lower. And then the second trade we took on funded, I'm going to run through because we actually ended up letting a third position hold. I'm going to run through it all though. So basically coming into the day, price was rejecting off of this 4-hour bearish fair value gap, and it was respecting the CE of that gap. So at this point, I wanted to see price reject this gap and continue potentially lower to our first sell side draw, which is going to be this 1-hour bullish FVG right here, or potentially just continue to dump from there and continue down to Asia low. So I was just pretty much waiting to see what price wanted to do in this 4-hour gap right here. So coming into market open, or right before market open, on the 15, we end up getting a 15-minute inverse. As you can see, we have this 15-minute bullish FEG right here, and we inverse it, and then coming into market open, we come back in and retest it. And if you look on the 1 minute, we end up getting a 1 minute manipulation to the upside. So as you can see right here, we come back into the 15-minute inverse. We get a nice manipulation to the upside. I'm looking for a continuation lower to potentially seek shorts into that 1-hour gap, specifically to the CE point of that gap, and run through all of this sell side right here because we have all these just this built up sell side. I'm figuring we're going to hit CE and then potentially continue up from there or continue lower. So we manipulate to the upside, retest that 15-minute inverse. We get a nice break to the downside. We come back in and retrace into a 30-second bearish fair value gap. You can't see it right here, but I use my top step chart for this. So we retrace into a 30-second bearish fair value gap. We start to reject, and then I take entry right there. I run stops about, I think it was just about 20 points or 17 points, or just above that wick. And as soon as we start rejecting again on the 32nd, I take the entry right there, and I'm expecting price to flood down and hit that 1-hour gap. So I take entry here again, 15-minute inversion. We come back in and retest into it. We get a 1 minute manipulation to the upside. We break there. We get a retrace into a continuation confluence, and then we take the short down into that 1-hour CE. So on the funded, I ended up only taking a partial profit because at this point I see this rejecting and I seen ES continuing to push bearish, so I actually thought we might run lower, and this actually ended up passing me an eval as well. So super happy with that. Again, I didn't get the profit that I wanted on funded, but it's all good. I tried to notify this as fast as I possibly could, but we literally hit TP in like 1 minute. So like I just tried to do it as fast as I could. We were already like, hella in profit. So again, running through this really quick, 4-hour rejecting off of 4-hour CE of that bearish fair value gap, coming into market open. On the 15, coming into market open, we had a 15-minute inversion. We come back in off market open and retest into it. We get a nice manipulation quick to the upside, 30-second continuation off the bearish FEG, and we target the 1-hour gap below. Now, from here, there was a nice opportunity for longs. I know a lot of people took this. Price comes into this 1-hour gap. I believe we had SMT off these lows right here. I believe ES never swept the lows. NQ did. I don't want to switch to ES right now just because every time I switch, my position tools just get messed up. I don't know what's going on with TradingView, if it's just my TradingView. But anyway, we end up getting an SMT off these lows, I believe, and we actually had this 1 minute inversion right here. I wanted to retest right here. I wanted to see price come back in and retest into this inverse, and then I was going to look for longs, but price just continued up from there, and it just continued up, and then at this point it was already 9:45, so I just decided to wait for the news. Coming into the news, we end up putting in a data wick at 10 o'clock, as you can see right here on this candle right here, and price pulls back into a 5-minute gap, and I said if we could see continuations up to the data highs, potentially if we get a continuation confluence. So price from here pulls back into this 5-minute bullish FEG. On top of that, we still have New York lunch high up here, and ES also has New York lunch high. So I'm figuring we could at least run stops to break even or take some profit at the data high. And then if we want to let it run to the New York lunch high, we can also do that as well. So again, we put in this data wick off the super extended push to the upside. We end up pulling back into this 5-minute bullish FEG right here. Again, we take entry. As soon as price starts to reject right here, I think my entry was at 57 or 58. I run stops below the 5-minute gap right here, and I hit one take profit on these data wicks right here. So that only ended up netting me about 1.1 R. So I took this on 3 accounts. So 2 accounts I fully TP'd here, and then I seen that we were forming a 15-minute bullish gap at 10:15. So what I did was I let the third one run. I ran my stops a little bit lower on this. I think I ran it below, or I did. I ran it below this 5 minute candle right here, and I want to see the continuation up because I figured we could maybe run to New York lunch high. So we ended up getting in, pulling back, getting in a bit of drawdown right here, and then we ended up running up, and I ended up just closing this right around when we ended up taking out this high. I thought we would have a smooth flush to the upside to take out that New York lunch high, but as you can see, we've just been chopping and consolidating from there. So these are the executions you see in this trade where I took the re-entry. We come back down, gave the stop some room. It was below this point right here, and then we ended up fully TPing on this candle wick right here. Again, same the idea here though. We put in the data wick high, we pull back into the 5 minute gap, we get rejection on the 1 minute right here. I take my entry off this rejection. We're also tapping into this 1 minute gap right here, and I basically fully TP on 2 of my accounts at this wick high right here. Then I hold the third one because I wanted to see it run higher, extend the stop a little bit and extend the TP, but then I ended up just fully closing on this wick. I think it was at 1026, and that was it for me. So 2 small wins today. Pretty happy with it. Again, shorts open off the manipulation, targeting that 1 hour gap below, and then 5 minute continuation up to the data highs for the win. So pretty good. Happy with these trades overall. I think tomorrow we're supposed to have NFP, but I don't know if that gets wiped. We're going to have to pay attention to the news and see what happens. Or no, tomorrow's Thursday. I don't remember what we have tomorrow. We're going to have to double check that. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Again, links for everything in the pinned comment and the description. Go check that out, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.